Hi, thank you so much for being here and chatting with me today. So, my name is T, and I am so happy to be able to chat with you today. Again, this is just a small chat interview about your life as an entrepreneur. So, if you could start off by telling us your name, your business, and your role.
Hey, I'm Abat. I started this company called Riff, and I'm the founder and CEO, and or co-founder and CEO. I have, I guess, one other co-founder with me, and yeah, we just finished up YC. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you so much for being here again. Um, and now we're going to be moving on to your background. So, could you tell us what factors in your background have led you to start your own venture and become an entrepreneur yourself?
Yeah, I'd say it was so my dad was a founder like once upon a time,
Oh,
but I was never really that interested in business like growing up. But I think what led me to be founder is mostly just being very deep in the space that I'm in. So my company Riff is basically a cursor for music production. We build AI tools to help musicians make music faster, and I've been making music for a really long time. So it was more of like a personal problem that I was trying to solve. Yeah.
yeah. I love that you're able to, incorporate your passion and love for music into something that is solving, your day-to-day problems when you were producing music as well. That is super cool. What would you say is the problem that you were solving, and how did you approach it? And I guess, like, what was the solution at the end?
Producing music is really hard. You can be someone who's like the world's best singer or musician and still not have the technical ability to produce music. It's just like a really like I joke that more of my computer science friends like making music than my music friends, which is really funny. We solved it is we're using AI to like kind of abstract away a lot of the really technical parts of making music, like figuring out the signal processing and all this stuff, and then leaving like the pure creativity to the human. This is just kind of a step up from older software. And our core mission as a company is basically, in a world of AI, we don't want AI to replace artists, but we want them to kind of have like a creative partner.
I think that mission and that goal is, you know, really important in kind of like the space that we are in right now and like the current conversation about AI. I think Riff is an awesome example of how AI can actually encourage creativity and help, artists adventure and be creative with their own sound using, an AI platform. Now I'll be moving on to kind of competitors. What do you think was your differentiation and competitive advantage in the market that you entered?
Most of our competitors, I mean, so there's like two buckets of competitors. Like the first bucket of competitors are like the legacy softwares, so like the Garage Bands and Abletons and FL Studios of the world, if you've heard of those. And of course they're like kind of outdated. So as a startup, our advantage is that we can just build it fast on them. The real competitors are actually the other AI music companies. So everyone sort of has a different thesis on the space. Our biggest competitor, Suno, their thesis is like, there's no point in controlling your music. You just give us a prompt and we'll generate an entire song for you. And our competitive advantage is that as like artists, we kind of understand that no matter how much stuff you generate with the AI, you always want to keep making edits because you always want to insert your own creativity into it. So that's our like key differentiator.
What is your current business model and go-to-market strategy?
For consumer AI, I think people are still trying to figure out the business models. A lot of people are losing money, but we're sort of following in the footsteps by having a subscription, and then if you want to use the product way more over your subscription, we have like credit-based usage, so we charge you above that. But our go-to-market strategy actually was really interesting because we actually found our ICP, which was singers for like our initial launch. So there's a lot of singers who are like really great at singing, but they are not like super technical. So we built these features where they could sing in ideas into our software, use AI like play their melodies on instruments. So you just go like la 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 la, and you'll have like a trumpet play that melody for you. So yeah, our go-to-market was just like tripling down on this like one wedge of people.
So I feel like now I'm inspired to create my own song, even though I'm not a singer. What do you consider to be the first or like second top factors that helped your venture succeed and be accepted into YC?
Like so YC's motto is basically like make something people want.
Hmm.
But I think there's a correction to be made. I think it's like literally make one thing that one group of people wants really, 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 really badly.
Mm.
That's how you like achieve a first milestone of success. So yeah, and then YC, I think I'd say it was just knowing how to sell the vision very well. But for us, I think it really just came down to selling how much we love music and our pure belief in the fact that despite all of these like existing uh, forces that are against us, we can still expand the market. We can still build a really good business.
That is so awesome. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, on to the next question. What lessons would you say you have learned so far in your journey? And what would you tell young entrepreneurs if you could do it all over again?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say I'm still pretty early in the journey.
Yeah.
But even though we've only been doing it for uh since like I think March or Feb is like when we started building this idea.
Mhm.
I feel like in that short amount of time, it feels like 4 years of life is like the joke I say. Like I'd say the most important thing is there's going to be a lot of people who are going to constantly say, talk to you and say, kind of sell you on their services. There's going to be investors who come saying that they're going to give you money, they're going to like help make your company great. No one's going to help make your company great. At the end of the day, there's only one thing you have to do, which is make something people want. And if you just focus on making something that people want, purely like just building the best thing, marketing, like all this stuff like doesn't really matter. If people really want it, like they will tell their friends. You don't even have to sell them, right? Just make something people want is the advice I'd give. Yeah.
That's super important. And then the last and final question is, what is the hardest thing that you have experienced so far about being an entrepreneur?
Um, I think there's just like this is a pretty common answer, but I think there's a lot of highs and lows.
Yeah.
But I think but the highs are like really really high, and the lows are really 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 low. So you just have to get used to there being like sort of no consistency in anything you're doing. Um, and that means maybe one day you're working on an idea for 6 months and you just have to completely change your idea. And you're constantly going to be doing this like every 6 months basically until you reach true product market fit. So that's the hardest thing. It's just like, uncertainty. But I will also say it's probably the best thing about the job because it's uncertain. It's always fun. You're like never bored.
It keeps you on your toes.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
that kind of concludes the chat, the interview. Thank you so much for being here and talking to me. It was just wonderful to hear about Riff, kind of how you started, your background, how you're hoping to grow, and what impact you want to make on people. And I truly believe in Riff as a music lover. I want to see more musicians and artists and producers pop on this app.
Yeah, of course. It was my pleasure.